So I'm talking to Nat, and I'm talking about this morning. I'm saying, well, I did really well this morning in my practice of collecting smiles, um, which is what I do when I walk the dog. All right, now that's been an evolving practice, and the more that it evolves, the more smiles I'm able to collect. And this morning, I was able to collect a lot of smiles. Um, Now I've added singing and whistling to the practice, okay, because what it does is it occupies my mind. I used to be walking on my walk with the dog, and I would say "Sawadee Kop" to everybody that came by, and I'd smile, and I'd see if I could get them to smile, and that was fun. But in between, I would be walking, but I would be thinking, all right. And so I thought, okay, well, how do I kind of cut down on the thinking a little bit? And since I often would kind of sing and do a little bit of a dance, now I start immediately when I leave to go on the walk, and I'm bum ba da 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 dum, and I'm walking down the street, walking the dog, and singing and doing a little dance shuffle, and sometimes turning around. Now you have to understand on the way that I walk, because I've been doing it long enough, everybody already knows that I'm crazy, all right, and so the more that I act crazy, actually the more smiles that I get, because they just go, who is this guy? And so now people stop the car and say hello, and somebody will stop the bike. And I mean, I had a whole group of people that wanted to just shake my hand. I had a Thai guy speaks no English that shook my hand and then just grabbed me and gave me a big, huge hug. I had a woman that came running out of one of these little mom and pop shops and gave me a Sprite with a straw, which I gave. I've also added, I have two old ladies. One that, some of you that have been on the dog walk know that I give a hug to every morning, and I realize that she gets very little food, and it's kind of a government Meals on Wheels program, and it's not very good. And there are two other ladies that I walk by that have a little kind of a bamboo, table that they've set out, and they cook meals in the morning, and then they sell them to the guys early in the morning that need a breakfast as they're going to work. And so I started to just pick up a little, kind of bag of food and take it to her. And then there's another woman that has a husband that has Alzheimer's, and she had an eye operation, and she's, and so I, go and feed her every morning too, and smile and laugh and wish him a good day. And today I just collected a lot of smiles. Okay. And every once in a while you get a grump, and that's fun. and then when I get a grump, it's like I immediately go to, feel compassion, and I put an energy out. I hope his day improves. I hope that that this gets better. And what I'm finding is that practice is getting more and more profound all the time. Okay, and I've had some really profound experiences within the context of that practice. Like I've told some of you about there's a place that's the Burmese Medical Rescue, which is from the Burmese camps that are in Thailand. When they really are ill and they need to go to a hospital, they stay in this little house that's on my route, and I go by there every day and say sawadee, and they're usually loading people up to take them to the hospital. And one day I'm walking by, and there's a whole group of them, and there is a young, probably 13 or 14 years old, it's hard to tell with the Burmese, who had her hand out the window, and I was walking by, and I put my hand on her hand, looked into her eyes, and there was something electric that happened. one of those feelings that like the hair stands, and that's what we say, but it's just a feeling that goes, whoa, but it goes right to the back and to the top of your head. And we just looked at each other. We just connected in an incredibly profound way. And that was a big one for me. And about a week or so later, I was walking along. The red truck was pulling out to go, and it pulls out, and then the red truck stops. And then this hand goes out, and she's bald-headed. She's obviously doing chemotherapy. And so I kind of, hustle up, and I grab her hand, and we do this thing again. And it brought me to tears. And then drove off. A few weeks later, one of the men that's there comes and grabs me and takes me by the hand and takes me into a room where she is, and she's got an IV in, and she's on oxygen. And I sit and hold her hand for half an hour, maybe. Long enough that the girls are worried I've died of a heart attack and I'm not coming back. Incredibly profound. On a walk. All the friends that I meet that are the retired professor of psychology at Chiang Mai University. It's just this delightful woman that now, when she sees me, she dances. And then we dance a little bit together, and then we go our ways. And just watching the changes and the nature and the differences in the sky and how profound it is to just notice, to just be aware of all of the things that are happening and changing, and the connections and the differences in vibrations. When I was gone for 2 months and came back from Canada, people would applaud as I went by. The fool is back. Yeah, great practice collecting smiles. I hope you get a big one out of this. Lots of love.